The No Fate channel, checking in. Today I'm going to be talking about ZeroWater Pitcher, why I use it and why I think it's a great product to provide clean drinking water to yourself and to your family. Clean drinking water should be very important to you, but it is even more important to your kids because they don't weigh as much. You might be 200 pounds, but your kids might not even be a fourth of that weight. That means their bodies just can't handle as much of the toxins, the pesticides, the prescription medications that are found in water. Even though they're found in trace amounts, again, your kids' systems just can't handle as much of those trace amounts as you can. So 4.5 years ago when I had my child, I got concerned about my drinking water and I switched from a Brita filter, which is a 2-stage filter, to a ZeroWater pitcher, which is a 5-stage filter. It basically is triple the size of filter between the Brita and the ZeroWater pitcher. The ZeroWater pitcher comes with a measuring device in order to measure the particles per million. And when I measured my tap water in Drake, Massachusetts here, it came in at 90, which is actually pretty good compared to the rest of the country. When I measured it out of the Brita at the time that I initially got my, my ZeroWater pitcher, the Brita brought that 90 down to a 50. Now when I measured that water coming out of the ZeroWater pitcher, that went down all the way to 0. So that was essentially like buying distilled water. So there's absolutely nothing in that water, there's no particles, there's no solids, there's absolutely nothing that makes its way through that filter. And then as you use the filter, those particles will go up because the filter becomes clogged, it becomes less effective, and you change that filter when the reading is 6 particles per million, which is an extremely, extremely low number. So let's go over just again a few of the pros and cons versus the ZeroWater pitcher and the Brita, just using them as an example. But you know, Brita is very similar to pure water filter as well. So the Brita, as I mentioned, 2-stage filter. ZeroWater pitcher is a 5-stage filter. In terms of having the water drain through the filters, as I mentioned, Brita was pretty quick. The ZeroWater pitcher does take longer, and that is one of the reasons that I got the bigger container for my family so that we could fill it up when we did have time and didn't have to wait a long time for the water to drain. It's something you do get used to. It's not overly long in terms of length of time, but it does take longer, probably double or maybe even triple the time compared to my Brita. And it's a nuisance initially, but you eventually get used to it and learn to just simply keep that thing filled so you don't have to, wait for it to drain. Cost is the biggest downside to the ZeroWater pitcher. A Brita filter comes in at about $4 per filter. The ZeroWater pitcher comes in at $9 per filter if you buy it in bulk. If you don't buy it in bulk, it can be $10 or $12 per filter. So that's quite substantial. And again, 2 to 3 times the cost of a normal Brita filter can be a detractor, but I will say you're getting what you pay for, and you're getting much, much cleaner water with that ZeroWater pitcher. In terms of how long it lasts, now depending on how dirty your water is, the filter will last longer or shorter, again depending on how dirty your water is. And different areas of the country have dirtier water on average in terms of particles per million than others. I will say here in Massachusetts, here in Drake, over the past 3.5 years, I've been getting approximately 35 gallons per filter. Okay, so if you think about it in terms of distilled water, if you went to the store and had to just buy gallons of distilled water off the rack, my supermarket sells distilled water for $1 per gallon, so that would be $35. So considering I'm only paying $9 per filter, for me and my family, it's worth it. I highly recommend that you dads look into your water. Try to test your water to see the quality of the water that you're getting. And if you're using a filter, test the filtered water to see the quality of the water as it comes through your filter. I hope this was informative. If you've come this far in the video, then definitely give it a like, hit that subscribe button. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back. I am dedicated to helping you dads be great parents to your children and still accomplish your own personal goals. I post tips and tricks to save you dads time, energy, and money. 3 things that are in short supply for every dad out there.